Dear students, coming to the ninth lecture series of this last unit, and this is the last lecture series. And here, last class we have seen about women welfare, value education, and HIV/AIDS. Hope you have understood. And for today's lecture, we are going to see about child welfare, environment impact assessment, and what is the role of information technology IT in environment protection and in human health, and some of the case studies. So this will be the last topics. So first one, coming to the child welfare, we have seen women welfare. Now what about the child welfare? So children occupy nearly 40% of the total population, and they are considered to be the assets of our society. So of 21 million children born every year in India, 20 million children are estimated to be working as child laborers in various hazardous industries like match industry, firework industry, pottery industry. See, 21 million children are born every year in India. This is the scenario in India. So 21 million children are born, and out of the 21 million children, 20 million children, they are working as child laborers in various poisonous industries like match and firework and pottery industries. So what are the reasons of this child labor? Why children are being sent as laborers or sent for work? The main two reasons are poverty and want of money. See, poverty is the main reason for forcing the children to work in unhealthy condition. See, we know that match industry, firework, pottery is a very difficult thing, but the children are allowed to work in these areas due to the poverty. First one reason is poverty, and the second one is want of money. So parents, they require money for their family, and they are in a position to send their children for work. Otherwise, no parent will send their children for work due to their family situation, due to their financial problem, and due to their poverty. They are sending their children for work, and these two are the main reasons for child labor. And what are the organizations that are working towards the child welfare? The first one is United Nations Conventions on Rights of Child or international law. So it is a set of international standards and measures to protect and promote the well-being of children in our society. So to promote and protect the well-being of children in our society, the United Nations formed a set of international standards. So that in that we have having the rights of the child. What are the rights of the child? So international law defines right of the child to survival, participation, development, and protection. So four things are there. So right to survival, right to participation, right to development, and right to protection. The first one is right to survival. So it emphasizes good standards of living, good nutrition and health. So living standards should be good, nutrition should be good, and health should be good. Then second one is right to participation. So freedom of thought and appropriate information to the child. So the child has the right to think and give appropriate information. The next one is right to development. So it ensures access to education, childhood care and support, social security and recreation. So access to education, then childhood care support, social security and recreation. And the next one is right to protection. That means freedom from exploitation, inhuman treatment and neglect. So we cannot neglect a child and it has freedom from we should not exploit a child, and there should not be any inhuman treatment. So that is the right to protection. So in this law, this United Nations Convention, so they have defined the right of a child to survival, participation, development and protection. And the second welfare thing is World Summit on Children. So it had focused agenda for the well-being of the children targeted to be achieved in the beginning of new millennium. So what about the well-being of the children? What is the target? So that is given by this World Summit on Children. And the next one is MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development. So it concentrates on child health, then education, nutrition, clean and safe drinking water, sanitation and environment. So it concentrates child health, education of a child, nutrition of a child, then to provide clean and safe drinking water, sanitation and good environment to a child. So these are the three welfare programs, organizations for child welfare. Now what about the relation between environmental degradation and child welfare? See, children are the most affected due to environmental pollution. So waterborne diseases, it is the biggest threat to children. Around 6 million children are affected by these diseases in India. So in India, due to this waterborne diseases, around 6 million children are being affected. Even the child growing in the mother's womb gets affected by environmental toxins. See, if the water is affected and if a child is inside the mother's womb, that also gets affected due to this environmental poisons. Now, what's the Center for Science and Environment, CSE? So, its scientific report says children consume more water, food and air than adults and hence more susceptible to any environmental contamination. See, if there is an environmental contamination, it affects a child more than an adult because children, they consume more food, air, water and everything. So, it is essential to keep the cleaner environment to our children for better and healthy life. So, to have a better and healthy life, it is important to keep our environment clean for our children. So, these are the relation between environmental degradation and child welfare. So, children are the most affected one. We should not make them as laborers. We should stop child labor, and these organizations are working towards the welfare of children. So, child welfare is also an important question. The next one is Environment Impact Assessment, EIA. What is EIA? Important 2-mark question, or sometimes part B also they will be asking what is EIA, Environment Impact Assessment. So it is defined as a formal process of predicting the environmental consequences of any developmental project. See, if any developmental project is there, what are the environmental consequences? It will be predicted. Then it is used to identify the environmental, social and economic impacts of the project prior to decision making. So, environment impact assessment means before starting a developmental project, what are the consequences? So, it will be identifying the environmental, social and economic impacts of that project prior to starting. That is known as environment impact assessment. Hope you have understood this one. Our project start பண்றதுக்கு முன்னால environmental consequences என்ன அதெல்லாம் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ப்ராஜெக்டை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவோம். Now, what are the objectives of EIA? To identify the main issues and problem of the parties. என்ன problem, என்ன issue that is being identified. Then to identify who is the party, யார் அந்த party. Then to identify what are the problems of the parties. To identify why the problems arise. So I think the objective is to identify the main issue and problem of the party, who is the party is identified, what are the problems and why the problems arise are being identified. These are the objectives. Now what are the benefits of this EIA? So cost and time of the project will be reduced, performance will be improved, waste treatment and cleaning expenses are minimized, then usage of resources are decreased, biodiversity is maintained, human health is improved. So due to this environment impact assessment before starting a development project, so cost and time can be reduced, performance will be improved, the waste treatment and cleaning expenses will be minimized, resources usage will be decreased, biodiversity will be maintained and human health will be improved. These are the benefits of environment impact assessment. Now, what are the key elements of EIA? See, key elements, there are 5 key elements: scoping, screening, identifying and evaluating alternatives, mitigating measures dealing with uncertainty, and issuing environmental statements. These are the 5 key elements. You will see one by one. First one is scoping. So, what is scoping? It is used to identify the key issues of the concern in the planning process at an early stage. So, early stage itself we can know what are the key issues related with the planning process. So, it's used to aid site selection and identify any possible alternatives. So, in the scoping process, the site selection will be identified first. So if it is difficult, if in that area, if that's a difficulty means, is there any possible alternative that will be seen in this scoping process. The next one is screening process. So it is used to decide whether an EIA is required or not based on the information collected. So in screening, if they have collected all the information, then in screening process they decide whether EIA is required or not, whether there is an impact or not, it can be decided. Then identifying and evaluating alternatives. So knowing alternative sites and alternative techniques and their impacts. See, we have to, if we are having an idea, is there any alternative idea? Or if you are selecting a place, is there an alternative site? So alternative site, alternative techniques, and what about the impacts is being identified. And the fourth one is mitigating measures dealing with uncertainty. See, it reviews the action taken to prevent or minimize the adverse effects of a project. See, dam construction or a building construction or whatever it may be, or a sanctuary, whatever may be the project. So here mitigating measures dealing with uncertainty means it reviews the action taken to prevent or minimize the adverse effects. After effects will be minimized or prevented. The last one is environmental statements. So this is the final stage and it reports the findings of the EIA. So final stage is environmental statement and it reports the findings of the EIA. So these are the 5 different key elements. So first one is scoping. So scoping to identify the site selection and is there any possible alternative. Then screening based on the information whether EIA is required or not. And then next one is knowing and identifying the alternative site, their techniques and their impacts. Then the action taken to prevent or minimize adverse effects, mitigating measures. The last one is environmental statements which reports the findings of EIA. Hope EIA is clear for you. What is EIA, what are the objectives, what are the benefits and what are the key elements. The next one is role of information technology in environment protection. See, 2 things are there, role of IT in environment protection and human health. Sometimes both coupled together they will ask it as a part C question, 10-mark question, or separately they will ask according to the question, you write the answer. So IT or information technology plays an important role in field of environmental education. So IT means information technology, information. So from the word itself we can know collecting the information. So it means collection, processing, storage and dissemination of information. So first we have to collect the information, process it, store it and then give it back, dissemination. So a number of software have been developed to study about the environment. So for studying the environment there are a lot of softwares. So internet facilities, then information through satellites, www World Wide Web, GIS Geographical Information System, all these things they provide us up-to-date information on various aspects of environment and weather. See, daily if you open the internet you can see what is today's weather, what about the environment. www is there, internet facilities are there, GIS is there, so we can get the up-to-date information about our environment and weather. Now what are the softwares used for this environment education? So there are many softwares, we'll see one by one. First one is remote sensing. So remote sensing means it refers to any method which can be used to gather information about an object without actually coming in contact with it. See, we need not come into contact, but before coming into contact we can gather the information. See, any force field like acoustic means sound, gravity, magnetic, electromagnetic, etc. could be used for remote sensing covering various disciplines extending from laboratory testing to astronomy. See, starting from laboratory to astronomy, any field like this one, it can be used for remote sensing. So, force field like sound, gravity, magnetic, etc. can be used for this remote sensing. So, remote sensing means it denotes identification of earth feature by detecting the characteristics electromagnetic radiation that is reflected or emitted by the earth. See, we know that earth emits electromagnetic radiation. By detecting that radiation, we can identify the nature of our earth's surface. That process is known as remote sensing. அதாவது எர்த்தில் எலக்ட்ரோமேக்னெட்டிக் ரேடியேஷன் எமிட்டர் ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் ஆகிருக்கும். ஸோ அதை வச்சு நம்ம எர்த்தினுடைய நேச்சர் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த மெத்தட் தான் ரிமோட் சென்சிங் மெத்தட். நான் ரிமோட் சென்சிங் system for resource management. இதே மாதிரி resource management எப்படி? So remote sensing data have been used to derive thematic information on various natural resources and environment. So thematic maps இருக்கு. அதை வச்சு நம்ம various resources, environment எப்படி இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி we can have a remote sensing data or we can have an image. So based on this thematic maps, we can identify we can identify the resources present. So type and level of information extracted depends on the expertise of the analyst and what he is looking in the data. So another thematic means correct information which we can find it. See, the remote sensing image of land can be used to derive information of vegetation, vegetative cover, water bodies, land use, pattern, geological features, soil, etc. ஒரு லேண்டுடைய ரிமோட் சென்சிங் இமேஜை வச்சு நம்ம கண்டுபிடிச்சிடலாம். வாட் அபவுட் தி வெஜிடேஷன் கர்வ், வாட்டர் பாடிஸ், லேண்ட் யூஸ் அண்ட் பேட்டர்ன், எவ்ரி திங் கேன் பி ஃபவுண்ட் அவுட். Now what are the applications of remote sensing? See, first one, it is used in remote sensing can be used in agriculture, forestry, land cover and in water resources also you can use it. See, agriculture, India agriculture sector sustains the livelihood of around 70% of world population of the population and contributes to about 35% of the net national product. We know that India is an agricultural country. So we have to use both land and water resources along with high yielding variety seeds, fertilizers, etc. So this remote sensing process, it provides information for land and water management. So which land area, what about the type of soil, what kind of hybrid variety seeds can be used, how much amount of fertilizer should be used, everything can be found out from remote sensing. Then second one, in forestry. So for developing a sustainable forest, we depend upon information on the type, density and extent of forest cover, wood volume, biomass, forest fire, pest and disease, land use losses, encroachment, etc. So remote sensing provides all such information clearly. For forest management, a particular forest to manage panna, we cannot go and round about that forest and see all the data. Instead, by using this remote sensing method, what about the type of forest, density of forest, what about the wood nature, biomass, how about the forest fire in that area, what about the pest loss, disease loss, then what about the encroachment in that forest area, all can be found out through this remote sensing method. So it gives the information about all these things. Then the third one is in land cover. So spatial information on land use is required at different scales depending upon use. Remote sensing data is converted to map. The spatial resolution plays a role on the scale of mapping. Land cover, how much amount of land can be used. So it will be, the remote sensing data will be converted to a map. From the map we can see the land areas in different, land use in different areas. So in land cover also it can be used. And the last one is water resources. So we can use this remote sensing data to find the water resources, surface water body mapping, then groundwater targeting, wetland inventory, flood monitoring, reservoir sedimentation, water quality monitoring, runoff modeling, snow cover monitoring, irrigation water management and many more. See, we can know all about this water resources. Where is the surface water, where is groundwater, where is wetland, then about flood monitoring, everything, runoff, everything can be found out by using this remote sensing data. So remote sensing can be used in agriculture, in forestry, to find the land use or land cover, as well as it is used in finding the water resources. And the second software is database. So we are all CSC students and you know about database. So database is a collection of interrelated data on various subjects. So different subjects, what about the interrelated data? So in the computer, the information of database is arranged in a systematic manner that is easily manageable and can be quickly retrieved. So in computer, everything is arranged in a systematic manner and we can easily retrieve the data. So database means collection of interrelated data on various subjects. So what are the applications of this database? See, Ministry of Environment and Forest, they are compiling a database on various biotic communities. So So Ministry of Environment and Forest, they are having a database of biotic communities. Then database is also available for diseases like HIV/AIDS, malaria, fluorosis, etc. So based on that database, we can find out all these things. The next one is NMIS, National Management Information System. So they are having a database on R&D, research and development projects, along with information about research scientists and personnel involved. So what about the R&D projects? So what are the informations about research scientists and who are the persons involved? Everything can be got from the National Management Information System. Then the next one is Environmental Information System, ENVIS. ENVIS or Environment Information System. So it functions in 20 centers all over the country. So they generate a network of database in areas like pollution control, clean technology, remote sensing, biodiversity, environmental management, certification, etc. So it is working in 25 centers and they have a network of database in all these areas. So information about the environment, all about pollution control, clean technology, remote sensing, biodiversity, desertification, environmental management, etc. So that is ENVIS, Environment Information System. So these are the three applications. So Ministry of Environment and Forest, they have a database on biotic communities, then HIV/AIDS, malaria, fluorosis, etc. Then NMIS, so they have a database on R&D projects. Then ENVIS, they have a database in pollution control, clean technology, remote sensing, biodiversity, and so on. Now the third one is GIS, Geographical Information System. So it is a technique of superimposing various thematic maps using digital data on a large number of interrelated aspects. So there will be so many thematic maps and that will be superimposed using digital data. See, interrelated aspects, large number of things will be there. The thematic maps will be superimposed with the digital data. So that is known as GIS or Geographical Information System. Now what are the applications of this GIS? So different thematic maps containing digital information on various aspects like water resources, type of soil, forest land, cropland, grassland are superimposed on a layer form in computer using software. See, maps containing information about all these things. So digital information will be there. It will be superimposed on a layer form in a computer using software, that is GIS system. So you can have information about water resources, type of soil, forest land, grassland, cropland, etc. Then interpretation of polluted zones, degraded lands can be made on GIS. So you can interpret a polluted area or a degraded land. So it can be made based on GIS. So GIS is a very important thing, geographical information system. So here superimposition of thematic maps using digital data will be there. Then GIS can be used to check unplanned growth and related environmental problems. So where there is no growth, unplanned growth is there. Or what about the environmental related problems, that can be also checked using this GIS. Hope you have understood GIS. Then the next one is satellite data. So satellite data means it helps in providing correct and reliable information about forest cover. So using the help of satellite, data can be collected about the forest cover, then information of atmospheric phenomena like monsoon, ozone layer depletion, smog, etc. So details about this also can be found. Then from the satellite data, new reserves of oil, minerals can be discovered. So you can have an idea, information about forest cover, oil, mineral reserves, then ozone layer depletion, monsoon, smog, etc. can be found from satellite data. And the next one is World Wide Web. So more current data is available in this World Wide Web. We are all using this one. So important online learning centers, I given you 2 websites. So using this you can find it. Environmental Science is there, MHHE, then Multimedia Digital Content Manager in the form of CD-ROM is given. Now what are the applications of this one? So these online learning center provides the current and relevant information on principles, problems, queries, application of environmental science. So here we are given this online center. So these two, what are the applications? Online learning center, it provides information about principles, problems, queries and application of environmental science. All things based on environmental science can be learned. Then it has digital files of photos, PowerPoint lecture, presentations, animations, web exercises and quiz. So based on this environmental science, So file of photos will be there, PowerPoint lecture presentations are there, animations are there, web exercises, quiz, everything based on environmental science are there. So hope you have understood role of information in environment protection. And the next one is role of information in human health. So information technology plays a key role in human health. So IT changed the human lifestyle completely, and health organizations are turning to package solution of IT for streamlining service-oriented work in an effective manner. So health organizations, they are turning the package solution of IT so that the streamlining service-oriented work, it can be done in an effective manner. We know that everything is now computerized, so IT plays a important role in human health also. Now, health service technology mainly offers three systems: finance and accounting, pathology, then patient administration, clinical system, etc. See, this health services, it in three: finance and accounting. Finance and accounting can be done through this IT. Then pathology study about various types of diseases, so that can be also done by this information technology. And NOEL, so what about the diseases, what are the effects of a disease, everything can be studied from this information technology. Then patient administration, clinical system, see, from foreign countries they can operate a person in India. It is due to this online connections. So patients also can be administered, clinic system can be provided. So doctor from abroad, they can give all the suggestions, and they can even operate a person using this online communications. Now, what are the applications of IT in health services? What are the applications we can see? So, health service technology, I have told you three things. Now, what are the applications? First one is, with the help of IT packages, the data regarding birth and death rate, immunization, sanitation program are maintained accurately. So, death and birth rate data, immunization data, sanitation program, it is maintained accurately. Then it helps the doctor to monitor the health of the people effectively. See, previous back 40-50 years, only the card will be there. So if a patient is going to hospital, a card will be given. From that card only they can look at the previous data. Nowadays everything is being monitored by the computer. All the data will be fed into the system, so that they can retrieve the data whenever they want. If you tell a number or a name or place or anything, the small data is given, they can retrieve all the informations. But previously, if the card is lost, they know about, then doctor cannot know about the previous history. So it is not like that. So it helps the doctor to monitor the health of the patient effectively. Then information regarding the outbreak of epidemic diseases can be conveyed easily. See, before 40-50 years, if there is an epidemic, then no one knows. Rarely through newspaper, or if there is a radio channel, then only will be knowing. But nowadays, information is revealed easily. Even if you are not looking at the TV, everyone is having Android mobile phone, and easily within seconds we can know all the details. So regarding the outbreak of epidemic diseases, for example, this COVID-19, it is very easily known. Even people in rural villages, they came to know this because of this information details techniques. So because of all the information techniques available at hand, it's very easy to know about the outbreak of epidemic diseases. Then online help of expert doctors excuse me, can be consulted to provide better treatment and services to the patient. So online help of expert doctors can be consulted in the given place itself, and better treatment and services can be given to the patient. Then with a central control system, hospital can run effectively. Mostly in all the hospitals, big hospitals, they'll be having a central control system. So everywhere they'll be having access what is happening in the hospital, and all the departments will be interconnected, so the hospital can run very effectively. Then drugs and its replacement can be administered efficiently. Drug administration, replacement, everything can be done efficiently using this IT health services, IT in health technologies, health services. So we can, based from this IT, human health, we can find the death and birth rate, immunization, sanitation program. Then doctors can monitor the health of the patient. Then information regarding outbreak of epidemic diseases can be found out. Then online help of doctors can be consulted. Then due to the central control system, hospital can run effectively. Then drug administration and replacement can be done efficiently. Hope you have understood what's the role of IT in environment protection as well as in human health. Now case studies. So role of IT in environment protection, we'll study 2 or 3 case studies, as well as in human health also we'll study 2 or 3 case studies. So here first one is polluted backwaters of Kerala. So a part of the backwaters present in the Anchutengu Kodiyanam Kulam, Kerala has been polluted due to the soaking of coconut husk for the production of coir fiber. So it affected the fishery resources to a large scale. See, the coconut husk, for production of coir fiber, it should be dipped in water. So that is done in the water in this area, in the backwaters area. So fishery resources are being affected. So environment of the coast areas covering the polluted and non-polluted zones were studied by Indian remote sensing satellite. So using the satellite data, they found out it, and IRS data were compared with water quality parameters such as turbidity, dissolved oxygen, production of H2S, primary protective mechanism. So this has been carried out and necessary steps were undertaken for the proper development of aquatic system. So in the Anchutengu Kodiyanam Kulam இருக்குல்ல, அந்த இடத்துல இருக்கக்கூடிய பேக் வாட்டர்ஸில் இந்த கோகனட் ஹஸ்க், தேங்காய் நார்லாம் போட்டு அந்த கொயர் ஃபைபர் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ வாட்டர் அங்கே ஃபுல்லாக பொல்யூட் ஆயிரும், அங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய ஃபிஷர் ரிசோர்ஸ் எல்லாம் அஃபெக்ட் ஆகுது. ஸோ ஐஆர்எஸ் இந்தியன் ரிமோட் சென்சிங் சேட்டலைட் வச்சு அந்த டேட்டா வச்சு வாட்டர் குவாலிட்டி பேராமீட்டர்ஸ் அங்கே டெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறாங்க. அந்த ஏரியா பேக் வாட்டர்ஸ் எடுத்து அந்த வாட்டர் எடுத்து டர்பிடிட்டி, டிசால்வ்ட் ஆக்சிஜன், ப்ரொடக்ஷன் ஆஃப் H2S, primary protective இதெல்லாம் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணிவிட்டு தென் ப்ராப்பர் அந்த கூட aquatic should not be disturbed. So for the development of the aquatic system, proper steps were undertaken. Then second one is ocean contour monitor to study phytoplanktons, OCM, ocean contour monitor. இது வந்து phytoplanktons பற்றி ஸ்டடி பண்ண. So here also IRS-P4 is the first Indian satellite used to get the record data of oceanographic community. ஓஷனில் இருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த கம்யூனிட்டி பற்றி ஃபஸ்ட் எடுக்கக்கூடிய இந்தியன் சேட்டலைட் வந்து IRS-P4. ஸோ த ஸ்பேஸ் அப்ளிகேஷன் சென்டர் விச் இஸ் த பார்ட் ஆஃப் ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, has developed many applications of IRS-P4. So this data has been found to be of great use for the estimation of phytoplankton in ocean waters as well as the detection and monitoring of phytoplankton blooms. So using this data, the phytoplankton in ocean waters can be estimated, then it can be detected and monitored. So it's also helpful in the identification of fishery zones. Fishery zones can be identified by using this OCM. Then the next one is GIS for forest management. So forest area of Bichua range along Pench river in Madhya Pradesh was surveyed using GIS and remote sensing. So in Madhya Pradesh, this Bichua range along Pench river, it being surveyed using GIS and remote sensing. So multi-data images were obtained by the satellite, and it revealed that forest is covered by Deccan basalt and altered gneissic rocks. So various forest covers and inundated areas of the forest were also analyzed. So அங்கே வந்து நிறைய ராக்ஸ்னால it is being, the forest area is being covered. So that has been analyzed. So deforestation and other ecological imbalances were detected. So due to this deforestation, all these things happened. So that was being detected, and work plan is prepared on these data for the effective forest management. So forest can be managed by use of this GIS. So here this area in Madhya Pradesh also this has been done. So what's the deforestation? Why that forest area in that Bichua range it is not being used? It's not proper. What's the reason? Everything has been done. Then a work plan has been prepared for the effective forest management. The next one is NETS, National Emission Data System. So it is developed by the Environmental Protection Agency of USA. So coding, storage, retrieval and analysis of nationwide air emission data. So National Emission Data System, it analyzes the nationwide air emission data about the air pollution. So coding, storage, retrieval and analysis can be done based on this NETS. Then the next one is Environmental Information System, EIS. So NVIS, we have already seen this one, NVIS, Environmental Information System, EIS we can tell, or NVIS. So developed by the Ministry of Environment and Forest by the Government of India. Its headquarters is in Delhi. It functions in 25 different centers. So database regarding pollution control, clean technology, remote sensing, coastal. Already we have seen this one, environmental information system. Then what is the role of IT in human health? So Health Service of New South Wales. So Health Services of New South Wales are dominated by the state administered public health service providing integrated hospitals and community services to 3 million population people. So New South Wales, they have a state administered public health service for helping 3 million people. So it has a geographical divisionized structure. IT package was introduced in the health center. So streamline the various activities of the hospital, then it provides better services to the people. So as in this one, it gave better health services to the people in South Wales. Then IT packages purchased from US company was found successful in the finance and accounting and pathology system, but there were difficulties in implementing patient administrative system or clinical system, which involves registration, admission and transfer of patients, as well as medical records, sundry handling, clinical order entry, results operating and clinic scheduling system. See, US company, they purchased IT package, so it is successful in finance and accounting and pathology system. But it is difficult. I told you 3 objectives there, no? That one only. So in finance and accounting it is okay, pathology part also okay, but patient administration it was found somewhat difficult. So this implementation of IT packages of the patient administrative system went off successfully with rural hospitals as well as medium-sized hospitals without much complication, whereas in larger hospitals and network system it was very difficult. So this third thing is patient administrative system. So for small hospitals, rural hospitals it was okay. Medium-sized hospital there was not much complication, but in large hospital with network it was really a complication. And the next one is National Institution of Occupational Health. So this developed by the India government, it provides computerized information on occupational health, that is health aspect of people working in various hazardous and non-hazardous industries. So what are the safety measures that is to be handled? So in occupational health, due to the occupation, due to their job, what about the health problem, occupational health problem? So people working in hazardous and non-hazardous industries, both poisonous industries as well as non-poisonous industries, there will be some problem to their health. So lung disease will be there, many problems will be there. So all the occupational health problems can be analyzed, and there is an thing known as National Institute of Occupational Health. So it is developed by the Indian government. So it provides computerized information about this one and their safety measures. Okay students, I have completed the 5th unit. So this unit we have not taken in the class, so I have taken the video lecture. I think you have understood all these things. So it's an important chapter, very easy chapter. All the questions, so important questions. See, population, variation of population among nations is an important question. Excuse me. Population explosion, causes, effects and measures is an important question. Family welfare programs, family planning programs, what are the methods of family program, what are the problems, that is an important question. Then environment and human health, environmental degradation due to population explosion is an important question. Human rights is an important question. Value education, what we have seen yesterday, the third series, value education. Then HIV and AIDS, what are the facts, transmission, symptoms, test, effect and everything, that is also an important question. Then women and child welfare, women welfare, child welfare, that is also an important question. Then what about the role of information technology, role of IT in environment protection as well as in human health. So all these are important questions. Based on these 2 mark questions are also there. Environment impact assessment also is an important thing. Already I have seen this one. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Study this 5th unit thoroughly. It is an easy thing and you can score good marks in this one. Some case studies also you can you can study, and you can remember these things. So human population and environment is it's very easy, and you can study, you can score good marks, and in the test also you can write about this one. And thank you for your patient listening, and thank you.